Meeting is being live streamed. It's loading. Okay. Should be on there. 20. And Zoom sends it out through 720. Not if you look here. So I'm going to just put this here for you. And I think we're on. All right.
Oh my goodness. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah, we'll figure it out. You know, we practiced this too, and woo. We just have to poise for anything to happen. Can you sound and camp? Yay. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay. Yes. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right, hold on.
You know, we practiced this too, and woo.
We're going to mute this.
Okay.
You're all set.
Still good? Still good? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Brad. Woo! Oh, thank you guys for your patience as we learn and the lessons become revealed to us. I'm just so glad you're here. It's really important for me to be able to connect directly with you guys so that we can all kind of be a part of our vocal journeys together. If we have any snafus, Mike is going to be monitoring comments. So if you can't hear, if you can't see, just let us know and we'll try to troubleshoot it as we go. As again, our lessons just become revealed to us. We figure this out by doing it. So we're just some general housekeeping. Just first and foremost, if you have questions, make sure to put a whole bunch of question marks at the end of your question. That way it clues to us that we understand that it's a question and we can take a look at it. We're going to be doing just a couple of minutes of introduction speaking. We're going to do an exercise together, and then I'm going to take your questions at the end. All together, it should be about 30 minutes. And again, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay. So I just need a good count of 3 to kind of let my anxiety wash over me. Okay. So voice is very complicated, and I bet you're here because you already know that. You have some frustrations about your voice and are trying to sift through information, exercises, sensations to see what works best for you. And that's the goal. That's a very noble goal. It's your voice. So what we want to do today is tune ourselves to sensation. There are 4 major dimensions of voice. And again, I'm just going to throw this at you. And if you have questions, I'll try to get to them at the end as best as I can. We've got relaxation, which is really where we're going to concentrate today. Once we can relax, which is just to say that the body feels so still that we can get very sensitive to our breath mechanism. We can help guide and focus our breath mechanism. That's very difficult because we are completely hardwired with little micro movements. I'll call that fussiness because it comes from a place of trying to control the process. It's kind of anxiety ridden. So we're just going to start there today. We want to calm the nervous system down, see if we can start from a place of absolute stillness, feel our breath as relaxation moves through into airflow. Then we can guide our airflow. We can get very sensitive to what the breath needs from us. Once we move through that dimension of airflow, then we guide our air through resonating spaces, which is the 3rd dimension. And then that's the balance of the nose, the mouth, and we're looking for a full-on shared experience, a full body shared experience with the voice. Now, the very last dimension is to get inside and work with those vocal cords in a sort of a muscle fiber kind of way. That's really where we'll feel the differences between registers, is right on that muscle fiber. But we have to take into consideration, we start with relaxation, really build our voice around that very still, that singing is almost like meditation kind of feeling. That allows us to flow into our airflow. We can focus that airflow so that's nice and consistent. We're looking for a consistent behavior with the airflow. And then as we do that, we guide that airflow through resonating spaces, head voice, mixed voice, chest voice. And then we can add the stylistic kind of muscle fiber sort of at the end. Now, we're not going to be able to get through all of this today. We're going to start with relaxation and we're going to play with airflow. The resulting sound is going to feel a lot like blah, but beautiful blah. It's like spaghetti, where there's lots of substance, but there's not a lot of flavor. So go very, very easy with yourself as you work through this. It's going to feel just very, again, like a nebulous blob of sound. Everybody okay with that? Makes sense to everybody? Looking at the comments. Okay. Yes, singing does feel like a spiritual process to me too. Absolutely. That got me very excited. So let's take a moment. I'm so glad you're here. So happy that you're here. So take a moment and feel as if you're turning your nervous system down. Everything's getting very slow, 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 slow. What I like to do is place my hands on my chest and just acknowledge my own existence for a second. This gets me out of my head, out of trying to control and figure everything out, just into a more experience-centered, grounded place. So let's just take a couple breaths there together. Okay. Now take your mind's eye right around the jaw. We're going to focus on this bad boy today. Let gravity relax the jaw downward. Yeah. The face should feel a little dumbfounded, just kind of like you're sleeping. That's really the sensation we're trying to demonstrate to your body through sensation that this is how we want to start. So right from there, let the jaw hang. Let the tongue relax, be nice and heavy inside of the mouth. Let the back of the throat go nice and neutral. Once you've got that, you can get the sense that it might be that you don't have a bottom jaw. Let's just see if we can feel what that feels like. Very good. Now I just want you to blow some air through your lips as you do this. You're just going to tent your upper lips like, yeah. Feel your lips kind of tenting a little at that air pressure. Good. A couple more times. And as you blow the air through your lips, you're not going to trill. You're not going to do that just yet. You're just going to tent those lips. Keep your airflow flowing nice and consistently forward. Keep your jaw nice and relaxed as you do. This is just letting your body know that you want the airflow to be the most dominant source of the sound. So let's just take two more breaths like that. Good, good. So if we woken up your diaphragm just a little bit and establish that nice, consistent flow. If you can keep your lips tenting, like they're flowing like that, that lets you know that your airflow is nice and consistent. So what we're going to do is we're going to start right here. Hear the piano, okay. Good. So keep your jaw nice and relaxed. And if you want, you can use your hands to help guide that. Take a breath in. There's our reference place. And you're just going to blow it out through a nice, relaxed bite, like Notice how there's not a lot of quality to the sound, but I'm working hard at staying relaxed, and I'm working hard at just consistently blowing that air forward. Let's try that again together. Again. Good. Again. Good. This is a lot harder than it looks, partly because we're trying not to interfere to try to rescue the sound with quality. We just want to take everything away from the voice, all those compensatory responses away from the voice, and just let the breath do the bulk of the work. So you're focusing about two things. One is, can I stay nice and relaxed? Can I just feel like I'm so still that the air is telling you where it needs to go? And secondly, just continue to exhale. So be really still and exhale. It's like a meditation, isn't it? Let's try that together. Good, good. Now, if you notice that there's a lot of fussiness, a lot of movement, just gently rock your head back and forth just to encourage relaxation and release from those muscles that are trying to interfere. Let's keep going. Breathe in. Keep exhaling. Feeling good so far? Just stay as relaxed as you can. Keep that jaw nice and loose. Keep your breath tenting your upper lip. Here we go. Good. Don't make anything happen. Just let it happen. As we get into the middle, you're going to notice that you have to lighten the sound a little bit. You don't want to go louder as you go higher. You don't want to push that air. Just really let go and let the air tell you where it needs to go. Okay, so hear that note. That feels really, really nice. I kind of feel it happening a little bit everywhere. We're letting the body share this experience rather than trying to place it with our mind. Now tilt your head down just a little bit in a slight bow. That's going to help narrow your throat and help your air release, just release upward. Keep breathing nice and consistently forward. Good. Now I just want to use this because I know where we're going. We're going into mixing breaking land. So I just want to remind us that we're really looking to stay as still as we possibly can. Let what we're doing today feel a lot like meditation, and we're just exhaling. But this particular way that we're configuring our face, like that, is allowing a lot of the pressure to stay gently contained so that we're not going, we're not pushing all the air out. We're just gently flowing the air. And as we tilt our head downward, we can feel that there's a gradual thinning of the air. Don't fault yourself if your voice shakes or if it's hard to kind of find a certain pitch. Some of these places may be new. They really may be completely new, or they might be on that breaking point. And we're really trying to allow for the voice to tell you where it needs to be rather than us trying to make everything happen. That's really at the source of what tension is. It's like resistance to what is happening, right? I'm reacting to what is happening. And I don't want to do that no matter if the voice falls apart or breaks apart. I'm going to be very gentle with myself. So tilt the head downward. Hear that F. Take a gentle breath in and just exhale. So if you see right there in my voice, it's kind of wobbling a little bit. And I just want to draw special attention to that because if I had the tendency, and a lot of singers do, if I had the tendency of pushing my voice, then I may want to go, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to trap too much pressure in a certain space. I just want to allow it to spread out as it needs to. I want this to be a shared experience as it goes from mouth into nose. So instead of trying to go, or I'm trying to push it all through my mouth, I just want to kind of let it share it. Some of it goes up, some of it goes through the mouth. And that will be close to the sensation of it. It's like your head is hollow and you're just using that flow of the breath to inform you of what's happening. Let's try that one again. Don't push, just gently exhale. Maple. And as you'll hear, there's slight fluctuations in my air as I'm striving to just reinforce that nice, gentle exhale through that B note. Don't react to it if that's what's happening. If it's just stay with it. Keep exhaling. You do not want to get involved. Stay as relaxed as possible. Remind yourself, I'm relaxing my jaw, relaxing my tongue, keeping the back of the throat nice and relaxed, and I'm exhaling simultaneously. One more time on that one. Let's do one more. Good, good. Yeah. Woo! We're feeling what does it mean to be a wind instrument? Wind is very difficult. That airflow is very difficult simply because there's natural fluctuations in breath. And it's not until we practice this nice and consistently that the muscles that govern those breath, the inhale, exhale muscles, they become strengthened just by that work, and they learn to behave in ways that are nice and consistent. So this is literally my favorite exercise to do every single day, partly because it makes me feel really good. It makes me feel like singing is a meditation, and the only thing that I have to stay focused on is staying as still as I possibly can. Do not interfere. Be really still. It's a little terrifying because as we are that still with the voice, all of our imperfections, they sort of make themselves known, and that's okay. That's okay. The more you practice with this daily, just as a meditation, 15, 20 minutes, your breath learns how to arrive and behave in ways that are nice and consistent. And your exterior muscles, those muscles that get all fired up and they try to interfere, they will feel what it feels like to stay out of the way. You can get so much power, so much range, so much warmth, so much support, strength, confidence, all of those things by making it this simple. Be very diligent about it and be very loving and kind to yourself. It's just these couple of things. Feel what it feels like to relax your jaw, relax your face, relax the tongue, on the back of the throat. Take a breath, and then feel the tent of the lips first, and then add the note. So try this a couple of times. It's just refining that, tuning that breath, tuning that relaxation until you can do it with an open mouth. But go very, very easy on yourself in this way. The reason why I wanted to start with this as an introduction to singing is because I've seen a lot of professionals be riddled with a lot of exterior tensions, or they jump over this developmental work in their learning and they just go straight into style and sound quality. And that kind of ties the voice into knots because it literally says to the voice, behave this way. Sound is more important, quality is more important, and it kind of makes the voice feel very tight and restrictive and also very nervous because the voice can't let go. It can't let go and it can't express. So what this does is it reduces those influences. That really is the word. That's the evil word, influence. We don't want to be under the influence of this movement. We're taking everything away from the voice, restoring the voice to breath. Practicing that daily allows the voice to behave in ways that is consistent and supportive. When you can do this with a nice neutral mouth, then you should be able to play with words a little bit. If you're wondering how to make this something that you can translate into songs like style, just go through your song, which is just a series of pitch variation, melody, rhythm, pitch variation, and just on your melody. That's me pretending a song. But again, it really does reinforce that breath should be the dominant, absolute boss of you all the time. Your breath is the boss of you. Okay? Cool. So I want to take the next couple of minutes just to answer questions that you guys have. Again, just want to say thank you so much for being as flexible as you were. As we're learning, we don't know what we don't know until we are right up against it. So let me see here. Any questions? Any questions? Oh, see. Okay. Let me see here. There we go. Is it normal? Is it normal for my voice to kind of slip into a kind of broken fry like feeling around absolutely, around my break? Yes. A lot of times that is what it feels like when we have touched on something that's unfamiliar in the voice. Your breath flows itself nice and consistently into these small places. Some of those small places are really unfamiliar, or maybe we have fluctuations in breath. Let me see if I can say that a little clearer. As we flow our air without exterior muscle influence, we flow it into our headspace. What we come up against is little gaps in coordinations. We'll kind of call that the break. And there's a couple reasons why the voice breaks around certain notes. And for many people, it's around the same notes. As those notes kind of come up into what's called the nasal port, which is a lot of where the mix is, that sensation is it doesn't really feel like chest voice. It doesn't really feel like head voice because they really do live in that vocal Bermuda triangle. So stay as still as you possibly can. Stay as still as you possibly can and just let it happen. Let your voice keep breaking, keep shaking. Your voice is so sophisticated and it understands balance intimately. It's just always had to work against what those exterior influences are. So now that we take those exterior influences away and we find stillness, the voice can be restored to doing what it naturally does. And it can sense what is necessary. So if you find that the voice wants to wobble around the break, stay nice and still. Don't try to place it. Don't try to save it. Just let the air tell you what is necessary, tell you what it needs. And just sit back and let it do its job. Stay in that I'm in an experience rather than trying to control everything. So I hope that was really helpful. Let's see here. Clipping, clipping, clipping. Oh, there's so much. Oh, that's a question mark. Is there a range limit for how high you can stretch your voice with good technique? How do you know when you're there? That is a very good question. Really good question. Oh, that was such a good question. Give me a second to formulate your answer there. Yes, but within reason. So vocal classification does play a little bit of a role simply because our acoustics, our heads, our skulls are shaped. They're shaped differently. It allows us to be able to have certain notes, have more space with certain notes and less. For example, as you're looking at my face, kind of ovally heart shape, right? And my chin comes to a point. Now, if I go like this, can you see the acoustic variation between my mouth and my nose? Just if I do that. So what that tells me and what my experience is as being me is that I have a lot more acoustic space above my pen. My head gets wider, so my acoustics really adjust for that. It's natural how there's more openness on the higher end than there is on the lower end. I don't have a lot of acoustic space in my mouth. Now that does formulate acoustically what you can do. Your vocal cords also have a thinness or thickness to it, which again is really going to formulate the heft of the sound. For example, basses, baritones, altos, they tend to have thicker vocal cords, whereas like tenors and sopranos, they tend to have thinner vocal cords. Now that just pretty much lets you know that it's going to have a thinner sound or a thicker sound kind of naturally. But it doesn't really say that, you know, you can't sing high notes or you can't sing low notes. But I will say, pay special attention when your voice feels like it's almost resting, just resting on certain notes. That will let you know your voice type. Does it rest on certain notes? As long as you have good technique, I would say keep playing with those high notes. I don't really see there being much limitation to it, but follow your sensation and go slowly, be very gentle. Allow your breath to tell you what is necessary before you add a lot of weight or style to your sound. I hope that was a very long-winded. Let's see here. Looking for question marks. Any advice for vocal training maintenance when having the flu? Also very good question. I love your guys' questions. Well, I hate to sound like everybody else, but obsess about drinking water. Flush, 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 flush. You can't get enough water. And you just want to make sure that when you have like the flu or any type of stress where the body is fighting off things, it's very easy for that to affect the larynx, but also inflammation into the sinus cavity. And you just want to make sure that you're keeping everything as hydrated as you possibly can. I would say also to humidifiers, gentle steam. I'm going to share a really embarrassing story, but one time I had bronchitis and it was really, really difficult. I was prone to that. I had pneumonia one time when I lived in New York. And so now I'm kind of prone to bronchitis. So I was like, I really want to fix this bronchitis. So I gently boiled some water. It was too hot, but I boiled some water, turned it off, let it cool for a couple minutes, and then put a towel over my head and just inhaled and inhaled and inhaled for a little bit too long than I should have. And I ended up burning the back of my throat. So please don't do that. It was super embarrassing, but helpful to share it because I don't want that to happen to you. simmer some water, let it cool a little bit. There should be gentle steam. Or if you have a humidifier, definitely do that. Just keep your body as lubricated as you possibly can. Let me see here. More questions? More questions? Any pre-performance warm-up tips? Ooh, that's a really good one. That's a really good one. With warm-ups, you have the freedom and the authority to activate within your voice anything that you're going to use in your singing. So for example, if I was singing classical and if I was going to sing Ave Maria, well, then I don't really have to warm up my belting. I don't really have to. Classical really leans to the head voice. So I would want to make sure that I open up and activate any parts of my voice that I know for sure that I'm going to use in my performance. I also know that, again, I call this exercise that we did today the trumpet. It's one of my favorites because it's such a heavy hitter at getting air pressure going throughout the body and letting the body understand what it's like to gently contain that air pressure as a whole body experience. So I would actually say stick with what we did today. If you don't have time, then gentle lip trills will do the trick. They are a precursor to the trumpet. The trumpet, what we did today, is just a little bit harder. There's more air pressure involved. If you don't have time for the trumpet, go for the lip trill and any sort of articulation exercise like yum, 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 yum. Get your articulators activated and working, but I don't see, unless you really are a crazy vocalist and have a lot of showing off in your voice, I don't really see if that's super necessary to do a long-winded, drawn-out warm-up. Gentle lip trills will do the trick. Okay, guys. Such a good question. How does smoking adversely affect singing, and does it? Okay, this is going to be our last question. We're going to end on this. Hi, Sweden. Okay. I'm so glad you guys are here. I love y'all. How does smoking adversely affect singing? Does it? Absolutely. Smoking is just about the worst thing you could do to your voice because it really limits your inhale, exhale pressures. Really affects that, weakens your lungs, but it also scars your vocal cords. It scars them going in. The vocal cords, when you inhale, you close your vocal cords to keep the smoke in the lungs. So the smoke just kind of sits underneath the vocal cords and cooks them, basically. And then your vocal cords open, and that's how you let the smoke go. I will share a really quick story with you. I went to the Vanderbilt Voice Clinic, which is here in Nashville, Tennessee. I went with a student of mine who was getting a scope, and he was very sick one time, and he had a couple of super bugs in his lungs, and he coughed so hard during this time of sickness that it actually ruptured his larynx. So it took him a while to heal from that, had to do a lot of therapy just to get him vocalizing again. But while the doctor was looking at the scope, he saw that he had scars, some scarring on his vocal cords. And he asked him, "Have you ever smoked?" And he said, "Oh, I quit smoking 20 years ago." And that scarring was still there on the vocal cords. So if I could encourage you as much as I possibly could, it would be do not smoke. It absolutely affects the cord's ability to maintain strength on the cord end, but also the lungs' ability to maintain pressure. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys. Somebody asked about a pitch app. Yes? Oh, okay. I'll share this with you guys. I have a favorite little app that I use for pitch listening. It's called Pano Tuner, Pano. And this is what it looks like. I always have it pulled up. So I want to show that to you right there. So you see how it will listen. and it will show you where you are as I'm speaking right now. It's hearing where my voice is, and it's showing my voice in relation to the pitch. It's totally free. It is the best little friend a singer can have. So you can use this in your target practice, in your trumpet target practice daily. I highly recommend it. That way you can tune your voice to those pitches. But do not get so distracted with the pitch, watching that tuner, that you lose track of your sensations. So again, thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with me. I am so happy to have done this today. And I really appreciate your patience as we were working through some technical stuff that we were struggling with. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to do this again now that we know what we're doing. We're going to do it again on Thursday, same time, 12 p.m. Nashville, Tennessee time on Thursday, which, let me look at my calendar because I don't trust myself. Yes, Thursday the 17th. So we'll see you again on the 17th, and we'll continue this work together. So glad that you're here. Thank you so much. And I will see you on Thursday. Bye, guys.